Now, we've seen several businesses moving out of California. We've seen baker shops leaving, small mom and pop restaurants, little souvenir stores leaving, all the way to like big corporations, Uber leasing out like most of the HQ at this point. Salesforce tower is basically empty. We're seeing PayPal also thinking about leaving. Twitter is thinking about leaving. Tesla has already left. And several big corporations are also leaving as well. There's several mid-sized corporations that you guys have never even heard about leaving. Thousands of businesses, small to large, are leaving the California region, and for good reason. It's kind of trashy right now. And California right now is killing another massive industry. And this is really bad because now, guys, insurance companies are fleeing the states. And guess what? Other states are now trying to grab as many of these California companies as possible. Right now, the amount of companies leaving California is the highest in California history. In fact, San Francisco has a vacancy rate of nearly 40% at this rate. I know some people might tell it's 20%, but I swear it's like 40%. If you look at some of the individual towers, that just shows you how many companies have left. And these companies are going to Florida, Texas, the Midwest. We're also seeing a lot of these companies setting up shop in Midwestern cities as well that you've never even heard about. So it's crazy. And insurance companies are fleeing the states. And guess what? We're also seeing the government not really caring about these companies leaving. So the companies are like, screw this. We're paying all these different taxes. We're paying all this money and we don't get anything in return. The cities are basically dumps. Let's just leave. And now we do have State Farm has announced it will no longer sell home insurance policies in California. We're also seeing the insurance giant Geico has closed all sales centers in the state last year. And several insurance companies are now slowly moving out. Guys, when insurance companies leave, you don't really have that in businesses. Okay, businesses, companies, homes, people can only flourish if insurance is in that state and in that state in an abundant form. So when you don't have that many insurance companies in the state, it really does cause a lot of headaches. And not only is high taxes and also very burdensome traffic, and you also have crime rates going through the roof. I mean, I know people who live in San Francisco, they want to move out. They want to go somewhere in the Midwest at this point. They're kind of sick of this whole situation. And I guarantee you, people love San Francisco if they really just clean up some of the homelessness, the crime, and just the open air drug markets. Not even clean it all the way, just clean like 50% of it. And a lot of people actually come back. And check this out. The Bay Area housing market has finally cooled down, with the median price in the Bay Area dropping 23%, the highest in all of the United States. And 23% is actually higher than some Asian countries as well. Now, if you look at, Japan, Korea, China, for example, their housing market in several cities have already rebounded, but the California region is not rebounding at all. Los Angeles is losing people like crazy. In the first 2 months of this year, 90,000 people have left. San Francisco only has 800,000 people, and some saying it's only 700,000 people now. We're also seeing the Bay Area, 7 million people. We could only be seeing like 6.5 or 6.3 million people at this point. I mean, a ton of people are leaving. If you go to downtown San Jose and you look around, it's empty. It's a ghost town. Go to downtown San Francisco, every 3 retail stores on the first floor, only one of them is occupied. You're seeing multi-million-dollar malls and hotels closing as well. I mean, it's not a great sign. Now, if you want to get yourself a Bay Area condo or a townhouse, whatever it is, there's basically no more bidding wars. You could buy it if you want to. In fact, if you check out some of the commercial real estate in San Francisco, for example, they're going for pennies on the dollar. And if you go on LoopNet, don't be fooled about this crazy price. Some of these prices are going for $7 million, but it's whatever the listed price, and cut it by 50%. And that's kind of like what you could get it for. I mean, look at this. Where in the world can you find such a good looking condo building? And the starting bid is only 400 grand. And here's the thing about these starting bids. If it's in a great location, usually starting bids are so much more higher than something like 400 grand. And I get it, they probably lowered the starting bid to get a lot of people to start auctioning it off. But if you go to some of these auctions, it's actually empty. There was actually recently a massive building in downtown San Francisco. This was just like 5 weeks ago. It was sold for $160 million back 4 years ago. And now it's sold for $40 million. That's like 75% off. So it's crazy. Nobody wants to live here. There's massive layoffs and people are just simply leaving. And check this out. San Diego is actually seeing what's going on in San Francisco. San Francisco basically does not care at all. They don't give a single crap. Now, if you look at San Francisco, companies are leaving, people are leaving, talent is leaving. Tourism, they say it has dropped 16%, but what it looks like is dropping 35% at this point. Come on, when you have a 3,000 room hotel going bankrupt, that says something about the tourism industry. It's probably so bad to the point that nobody wants to go. And in fact, San Francisco is doing such a bad job right now. They actually spent $6 million on ad campaigns to get people in. And I guarantee you, nobody's falling for that. So San Diego sees San Francisco not do anything and sees businesses outflowing. San Diego actually puts down a homeless camping ban. They are very firm about this. This barely squeaked by. I think a lot of people in San Diego were a little bit scared about this whole situation. They feel like if they don't put a ban on some of the camping and also some of the homelessness stuff in downtown San Diego, it will probably become San Francisco 2.0. Now, San Diego's tourism industry is so very hot. A lot of people go to San Diego for good old fun. It's hot, great beaches, stuff like that. And it's also very close to Tijuana, Mexico. So you can also have, both sides, a little bit of California, a little bit of Mexico. It's pretty nice, right? So it's a pretty hot tourist location for Americans. And they're very scared because apparently their downtown has apparently a lot of camps and San Diego is slowly dying. And now they're implementing a homeless camping ban. I think it's a correct decision. I think it's a great decision. It's because you're actually saving a lot of these businesses and people's property investments. But at the same time, San Diego is also trying to implement some smarter housing options, trying to house the homeless, maybe open more hospitals, stuff like that. I mean, San Diego is actually not doing the best, but at least they're doing something. In fact, they're actually trying to save their downtown. And they're also trying to implement affordable housing. So San Diego, I got to give them a small round of applause. They're actually doing somewhat decent in this whole situation. But San Francisco just doesn't care. So we're also seeing so many businesses leaving. It's an absolute shame. And now hotels are leaving. Guys, when hotels leave a city, that city is basically dead. San Francisco has a lot of really awesome towers, fantastic skyline, but when you have massive hotels abandoning the city, it's bad. San Francisco has faced a massive exodus of wealthy residents and big retailers. Guys, Westfield Mall, the biggest mall in downtown San Francisco, before it closed down a week ago, it was only 50% empty. That's bad, okay? Like 50% vacant, I've never seen that before. And Westfield has said that other locations of their malls are like 90% full, with only about 5 to 7% vacancy rates. The hotel industry in San Francisco is so bad. Nobody's going there for tourism. And a lot of people who go there for tourism says there's nothing really to do due to the fact that there's just nothing there. Most of the stores have closed. A lot of the tourist traps are just full of homeless encampments. And the city just doesn't care. And when the city doesn't care, more and more people move out. Absolute shame. Really, really shameful. I love the city so much. I've been here pre-pandemic. Obviously had a lot of bad things going on as well, but it wasn't as bad as this. And what I've heard from some stories on Reddit and even a couple of friends who work at San Francisco says it's absolutely bad and everyone wants to leave. The moment somebody gets a remote job or the moment some companies move out, they immediately leave. Like they do not look at the city again once they leave the city. Hotel market is bad. Nobody's going here for vacation. And let me tell you guys, this is not normal, okay? When insurance companies are moving out in droves, this city is basically dead. California is already getting millions of high earners. Let's just see what happens with San Francisco, the Bay Area, and the rest of the California region. It's going to be very interesting to see what goes on in 2023 to 2024.